So John was getting a little tired, and he decided to stop for some coffee at McDonald's. And I didn't want to wait. I was like, "Hey, Mike, let's go check out this other property. We might be able to speed scout it real quick."
We were in two different cars, so they took their car and took it off to speed scout the property while I was getting my coffee at McDonald's.
And as I'm out there in this farm, I've seen some scrapes. I'm like, da da da, and then I get a call from John.
Yeah, and so I left McDonald's, and Tom's like, "Yeah, we'll just meet you. I'll meet you in the parking lot, where we normally park." I'm like, "All right." So I was thinking about hunting, along this road. So I start driving down the road, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there's like a buck running through the field." And so I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's running right to where Tom is," because I thought he was parked at the parking lot. So I like run up there, like he's not here. I'm like, I can shoot this buck. He's coming right to where I'm gonna park. So I parked the car, jumped out.
So John just calls me, and he said, "I shot a buck." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because we were just at McDonald's. So he parked his car real quick.
I jumped the car off right here, and my bow was on the back seat in the case. So I just reached around, grabbed it, like took as fast as I could, like undo the Velcro. Couldn't be fast. And I grabbed an arrow. I came over here, put the arrow on, and I don't really know where it was. I thought he was farther down. So I'm just sitting there waiting. It was like this. My footprint was right here.
In your Crocs.
In my Crocs.
Good thing they're camo.
And I thought he was going to come around
Red
this way.
shirt.
But he came around here. He was right here. All of a sudden he popped up. And he was kind of looking that way. Like he wanted to walk that way. And then I just knew like he could like jump that way or jump back in a second. So I just rose up. And as soon as I was here, I don't know if he looked at me or what, but he just turned that way, broadside, and I drilled. But there was still brush in the way, so I don't know how good of a shot it was.
You can't find the arrow, but you got some sporadic blood.
Yeah, I mean, he like ran and walked up there. He must have stopped for a second, and there's about this much blood pooled in two different spots. So I think he's bleeding pretty good. Yeah, I was driving down the road.
What is it, 2
I saw
o'clock?
him running down here, threw it in park, jumped out, grabbed my bow.
Nice. I can't believe it.
That can only happen to you, I swear.
He just left his bow right
Crazy
there.
days.
And that's where we were gonna go hunting up there.
And I had a 3-blade Rage, and one of the blades was sticking out, so I'm like, trying to stick it back on the rubber band. It was one of my spare arrows.
I tried to straighten that out for you.
So then he went up to that gap in the fence, and then he went just on this side of that little red tree out there.
I didn't know there was a gap there.
Yeah, there's some tracks through there. I think he's fixing the fence, and he kind of rolled it back.
Yeah.
But I think over here, this is tire tracks going across.
Initially, but there's deer tracks in
Is there?
there.
I didn't look at the tracks.
You didn't
I was
have
too
time.
busy looking at that rack going. Well, the one 8-pointer I got on my wall, I shot right here.
Both of your bucks. You shot 2 bucks here.
The 10-pointer I got on the Rubbermaid buck.
And now what are you gonna call this one? Drive-by buck?
The Honda buck.
The CRV buck. After I took the shot on the buck, I wasn't really sure where I hit him because there's so much like grass in the way, and he took off running. And he ran quite a ways, so it wasn't. I don't even know if I hit him truthfully because I couldn't find the arrow, and he was gone. So I decided to just let him go and come back in a few hours, and that's probably the best thing to do is if you're in doubt, back out. And so I went up and hunted just in the area for the night, and then in the meantime I texted Tom. I'm like, hey, don't you have like some kind of contact of someone who has a dog that can track deer?
So I got a friend who's their dog's learning how to track deer. So I gave her a couple texts, and she said she'd meet us out there. So really cool to have an opportunity to have this dog going after this deer, but there wasn't much blood.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, does this dog know what it's chasing?
Especially since the deer ran right back where he came from, so I didn't know if he was tracking, his exit route or his way in. So I thought, when the dog was tracking, he was like way off because it looked like just maybe the way he came in.
Yeah. So we wound up hopping a fence, and then another fence, and then another fence, and so we made its big sweeping motion. You can see on the map, kind of went all the way up and around, like clockwise, and then the dog, thought that the deer was in this bush or something, and it was gone. So at some point we decided, I just, without any blood trail, and the dog did its best, we gave up. We thought the deer's still alive. So then, was this 2 days later?
Yeah, so tonight I ended up shooting a different buck, knowing that we couldn't recover the other one, and that one's probably still alive. And some guys that are hunting the neighboring property stopped by and said, "Hey, how'd you guys do tonight?" So we're talking, chit chatting, like, "All right, have a good night." So they left, and then all of a sudden, like, we're loading up our deer, and they come back again. They're like, "Hey, did you guys shoot a buck here the other night? It's like, we saw you guys had a tracking dog out here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I shot this buck, and he had like a crab claw on one side." And he's like, "Did you shoot him in the shoulder?" I'm like, "I think I did." He's like, "We just saw that buck at the top of the road. He's still alive." He's like, "He just jumped in like 10 yards and he's laying down the side of the, in the woods." He's like, "Do you want to go see him?" We're like, "I guess." So we ran up there, and sure enough, there was a buck. He was just bedded down like 10 yards in.
He had a nice rack too. I couldn't quite get the video to show, but I mean, like 12-inch G2s outside his ears, he would have been a dandy. Definitely would have been a dandy.
Yeah, I never really
So,
saw him. I saw a little bit of his antlers before I shot him, but it's crazy that he ended up running right to where I was parked and
yeah.
got that opportunity.
So I think the dog actually knew where it was going, and the deer just kept on going. He got away, but
Yeah.
good story, man.
Yeah.